We lost a good man last night. You think it's funny?
What's his name?
You have to leave a tip. Hey!
I'm sorry.
In 1931, during the Great Depression, Michael Sullivan works as a loyal enforcer for Irish mob boss John Rooney in Rock Island, Illinois.
Dead.
Rooney raised Sullivan like his own son and trusts him more than his biological child, Connor. But Connor is jealous and reckless.
I'd like to apologize.
One day, when Rooney sends Sullivan and Connor to deal with an associate named Finn McGovern, Connor suddenly shoots McGovern. Sullivan is forced to kill McGovern's men, unaware that his 12-year-old son, Michael Jr., has secretly followed him and witnesses everything.
To anyone.
Who's this?
Sullivan swears his son to secrecy, but Connor's impulsive act sets a deadly chain of events in motion. That night, driven by jealousy and fear, Connor murders Sullivan's wife Annie and his younger son Peter. Michael Jr. survives only because he was kept late at school for fighting. Distraught and betrayed, Sullivan realizes he cannot trust Rooney, especially after learning Rooney is covering for Connor. Sullivan takes Michael Jr. and flees town, determined to protect his son and get revenge. Sullivan heads to Chicago, hoping to strike a deal with Al Capone's gang. He asks Capone's lieutenant, Frank Nitti, for permission to kill Connor in exchange for working for them, but Nitti refuses. Rooney, unwilling to give up his son, instead sends an assassin named Harlan McGuire after Sullivan. McGuire is a photographer with a sinister hobby. He takes pictures of his victims after killing them. He tracks Sullivan and his son to a roadside diner, but Sullivan notices the setup and narrowly escapes, damaging McGuire's car to slow him down. Now a fugitive, Sullivan turns to robbing banks that hold Capone's money. His plan is to force the mob to give up Connor by hitting them where it hurts, their wallets. Michael Jr. becomes his driver and helper, slowly bonding with his father during the dangerous journey. But the Chicago outfit catches on and pulls its money from the banks, cutting off Sullivan's leverage. Desperate, Sullivan seeks out Rooney's accountant, Alexander Rance, to find Connor's location. However, the meeting is a trap. While Rance stalls him, McGuire bursts in with a shotgun. In the shootout, Rance is killed. McGuire is wounded by flying glass, and Sullivan is shot in the arm. Though injured, he escapes with Rooney's ledgers. Barely able to move, Sullivan collapses. Michael Jr. drives them to a farm, where an elderly childless couple kindly nurses Sullivan back to health. During this time, father and son grow closer. Sullivan also discovers from the ledgers that Connor has been embezzling from his father for years, using the names of dead men to cover his theft. When Sullivan confronts Rooney about this at church, Rooney admits he already knows. He also insists that killing Connor is pointless. Either Sullivan or Capone's men will get him eventually, but Rooney refuses to betray his own son. He urges Sullivan to flee with Michael Jr. while there's still time.
I don't need him anymore. This ends with Connor dead.
Sullivan cannot let Connor escape justice. One rainy night, he ambushes Rooney and his men in the street, mowing them down with a Thompson submachine gun. With Rooney dead, there's no one left to protect Connor. Nitti finally gives Sullivan the address of Connor's hideout. Sullivan goes to the hotel where Connor is staying and executes him, ending the feud once and for all. Afterward, Sullivan takes Michael Jr. to his aunt's beach house in Perdition, a quiet town on Lake Michigan. It seems their ordeal is finally over, but McGuire, still alive and obsessed, ambushes them at the house. He shoots Sullivan multiple times, leaving him mortally wounded. As McGuire prepares to photograph the dying man, Michael Jr. walks in with a gun. For a moment, it seems he will avenge his father, but he cannot bring himself to pull the trigger. Sullivan, with his last strength, draws his own gun and kills McGuire before dying in his son's arms. In the end, Michael Jr. goes to live with the kind farm couple who once sheltered them. Looking back, he reflects on his father's life. Sullivan feared most of all that his son would become like him, a man of violence. But Michael Jr. never touched a gun again. When asked if his father was a good man or a bad man, Michael gives the only answer he can: "He was my father."